Hey everybody, welcome to All Things Jonny. By now I hope that you've seen the intro to our channel where I describe, kind of on the onset what our idea was for our own channel here. This morning me and Mrs. A just finished our walk down to the river, checking out what the beaver was up to. He's very busy. And we've got a lot of work to do today. I want to get the ATV service ramp out of the woods because I've been neglecting the ATV a little bit and it needs a oil change and bearing and some bushings and stuff. Got to kind of get the service ramp out so we can get it at a good working height and get some parts ordered for it. So in order to do that though, I got to clean out the garage. Garage becomes a little bit of a catch-all. So we'll do that first, then we'll run up to the woods and grab that service ramp and bring it all back down and get it going. Then the rest of the week, I think I'm in the recording studio for most of the week, doing rehearsals and tracking a few things. So, we're gonna film some of that too. That may be episode 2 and 3, but we're just gonna have fun. So please like and share this particular video and subscribe to the channel because All Things Jonny is going to be awesome. So this is what happens when you have a garage that's a catch-all. As you know, and as you can gather from my channel, I love a million things. I love to do all sorts of stuff. Like, music is really my first love. I'm a drummer, I'm a guitar player, and play in lots of local bands and stuff like that. I also work a full-time job, and then I also love doing, chainsawing and wood milling and yard work and gardening and all that different stuff. And I love tractors and all that other stuff. So unfortunately, when you're into that many types of things, you end up with a pile of junk all over the place. And you use one thing and you're kind of done with that and you shove it in a corner of the garage. And that's what I've got going on here, is kind of a mess. So I'm going to clean this up because I want to get the service ramp down from up on the property there, up at the other end of the property, and get the ATV right here and get it serviced. But I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a time lapse here while I clean up, and should be fun. Let's get started. Okay, so the plot thickened. We had a great big flash flood of a rain hit us, which is cool because now the sky is beautiful and blue. Very strange weather today. Kind of beginning of fall in Atlantic Canada, so it's a little strange. Anyway, so I just threw the tractor in the garage because I didn't want to get completely rained on. And then I was digging out these ramps that I found in the garbage. Yes, I found these in the garbage. Can you believe that? And I noticed something that was wrong on them. I haven't used them yet. And so we're gonna go over on the bench and fix that. So I found these ramps, 2 of them, in the garbage a few weeks back. Me and a friend were out on the, can't remember what we were doing, but we were out in his big commercial van and we were just getting a couple things done for him. And we happened to, it was big garbage in that area that we were in, the big garbage day pickups, which we have in Atlantic Canada. Not sure if you guys have that in around the rest of the world, but I'll tell you what. Big garbage is a big event around here. People sort through people's garbage and it's crazy. Now, I must confess, I've done that. But on this particular day, we were not doing that. I can't remember what we were doing, but we were on a mission. And we were on this back country road on the way home when I noticed 2 of these sitting in a garbage pile. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought for sure there was something wrong with them. So I jumped out of the van, threw them in the back of the van, and we were out of there. It kind of sounds like I stole it, but I didn't. I got them home, opened them up, and they looked great. Until today, I noticed a little flaw on their setup, and I think somebody did it incorrectly. There's this plate that kind of is mounted here with 1/2-inch bolts, and I think that plate is supposed to be mounted underneath, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So we're just going to take this off with a 1/2-inch socket and a wrench. We'll spin these off here. The other thing I noticed too is that nothing on this was quite tight. It was all kind of finger tight, and the washers, lock washers, aren't really in the right place. So we're going to make sure that they are, because I won't lift up my tractor with it. Although these are the types of ramps that you can use as like service ramps on the ground that you can drive up onto with a car. It says that it'll hold, I think it said 1,000 pounds. It's rated for 1,000 pounds, and I believe that's if you're using them as a ramp up to, you know, the tailgate of a truck, or in my case, a service ramp. So these were laying on top like this, and I think that they're supposed to go inside like this for some extra rigidity. And then that would mean, of course, that the bolt would go, like a washer would go on the bolt first. Let me just prep these bolts, which I did not do. So washer on the bolt, washer on the bolt. Right, Jake? Mm-hmm. And then this would slide in here like so. These are Ericsson's, by the way, which might be a Canadian Tire brand. I'm not really sure. Then we put the lock washer on. After the lock washer, the nut goes on. I don't know if you can see that. Take a look in the camera angle there, Jake, and see if we can, people can see what we're doing here.
Yep, they can see everything.
All right. So again, bolt washer, lock washer, and then the nut. I'm glad I noticed this because I've only got a Suzuki King Quad that I'm putting up on here to get serviced, but still, I assume that that's, you know, probably around a 450 pound bike. I mean, don't quote me, but 450, maybe 550. It's heavier than what you want to have on something that's gonna, bend or break or whatever. So you got to kind of make sure that you get it right. So we're gonna not get our wrench stuck on there.
No, we would not want that.
So, I'm gonna tighten this up. You all ready to go to the corn boil, buddy?
Yeah, I'm taking the 4-wheeler.
Are ya? Okay. That's fine. I'm just getting these tightened up. Okay, so now check that out. Much tighter, much better, much less flex in it. So that's what that was. I'm gonna go get the other ramp, and we're gonna see if it's the same way. So just stay there, Jakey, for a sec.
Right there, just so that you guys can see what he did.
It is the same. Look. The safety chain I'm going to get rid of because we're not using it on the back of a truck. We're using it on the service ramp, and we don't really need them.
Same exact thing.
After the corn boil. Yeah, so see this, they installed it on the top. They didn't put it inside the, you know, it's got a cutout inside here with this extra rigidity kind of in there, and it's all like, you know, bent in manufacturing and all that. They bent all the steel and stuff, so, or aluminum, I guess the aluminum. So the first thing that we're going to do is get rid of this safety chain because we're not really using it. And that's a 10 mil, I think. And they're kind of chintzy, safeties anyway. I mean, you got this chain, which is okay. The chain's fine because it's not taking a load of weight, but it's got these S hooks. So you would take the chain and what? Put it to the hitch of the truck, maybe? But that's asking a lot of that S hook. And if you get up on the ramp and you vibrate it, what's the chances of it falling off? So in our case, it really doesn't do much. And to be honest with you, an experienced ATV person most of the time does their ramps without any safety chains on. It's just, you know, that once you're on a ramp and you're going up into the back of a pickup truck, you don't stop for anything, and you know, there's a certain talent to it that you gotta go acquire or learn. I myself have never jumped a 4-wheeler off the back of a pickup truck because I like to think that I know how to do it. But so again, look, just a nut. There's no washer. Here's the washer, and so somebody that didn't really understand how to, you know, assemble these properly or assemble nuts and washers, nuts, bolts, and washers. Really, somebody that didn't understand that, but that's okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna prep these bolts with the washer. Prep that. So we've got 2 1/2-inch, and then we've got 2 lock washers, 2 nuts. And the way that this goes is it slides into this kind of little slot here in the aluminum. Okay, so in like that, bolt down in, bolt down in. I'm going to hold this while I put a lock washer on. I don't know if that's going to work with just me hanging on to it like that. I just need one more arm. Wouldn't it be nice if humans had one more arm? Oh, come on, you. Get in there. It's a wee bit maddening when you can't get it started, but we got her now. Okay, so just going to we're going to a corn boil here, and I'll continue the video after supper as we get the service ramp out. We got to bring the tractor up to the oh, gotta go the other way. Get the tractor up to the other end of the property where the you see what I did there, Jake? It's one of those things that you want to try to pay attention to. See, I've got that wrench in there so tight. I should have had it the other way around, right? But in my haste to try to make this quick, instead of taking my time, keep that on there right tight. Look, it just falls off, right? Can't bind up your tools when you're tightening things. Oops. Oh, come on. Maddening. I'm gonna go with that. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so just, 5 short minutes here, and we've got that all fixed up. Alright, that's the way that those go. Alright, so let's take a quick break, buddy. We'll go to the corn boil for a minute and enjoy some corn, and then we'll come back and we'll go get the service ramp out of the woods. Bring it into the garage. Sound good? audio, I'm not wearing a lavalier microphone right now, and it's a bit windy. Just had to get out of the rain a little bit, get some protection under the canopy here. Came up to the other side of the property, real close to the rail line here, where I've got some of my equipment stored. I've got a bush hog and my blower and some fuel cells and my ballast tank. And that's what I wanted to mention to you guys right now was the ballast tank. So I'm gonna pick up the bush hog and move it with the forks. And then I'm also gonna pick up the service ramp for the ATV and move it with the forks over to the garage. But I wanted to tell you something about the tractor I'm using. I've got a John Deere 1025R, and what a handy little tractor this has been. You know, I'm standing at the mouth of one of our trails that goes down through the property, and it's a wonderful trail that just goes out and in and out and in. You know, probably about 2 kilometers worth of trail in the side and the back of our home. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without this tractor. I mean, it was great to put a bucket on the front of it. It's nice and small and compact, and it's 4-wheel drive. And I was able to just mow down so much of the deadfall and shrubs and stuff to make all the trails that are in here. I wouldn't have been able to do it without it, or I wouldn't want to do it without it, I guess. But I will tell you that this tractor is completely useless, utterly useless without a ballast on the back of it. So if you're planning on doing anything with this tractor, with the front end loader, whether it's lugging around shale or topsoil or forks for sure, if you're palletizing anything, you want to have a ballast on the back. Now you can buy the one that John Deere has, but you're going to pay for it, right? If it's green, it costs green. Or you can make them, and that's what I want to show you just a little bit. And I'm going to do a whole video on how I made this ballast. And over the winter time, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of upgrades to the ballast and making it really, really cool. But I'll basically give you a little lowdown of how that is. But I got to tell you, in all honesty, if you're going to get forks for the front of this tractor, or you're going to do any heavy topsoil or gravel, you absolutely need to have a ballast. This tractor is really dangerous without a ballast. And it's a tractor that is commonly sold to people that really don't know anything about tractors, and they don't have that sense of fear that I think a real operator has when they're picking up a load. That feeling that you get in your legs and in your butt when you're operating something and you know something's unstable. Just a common person that rides a lawnmower doesn't have that experience, and so it can be really dangerous, and you can topple over real quick with this thing. So enough on that. I love the John Deere 1025R. It's right now it's my favorite tractor. But I got to be honest with you, the ballast thing is important. This is the rig that we were after. This is actually some pallet racking that I put on its side and welded it all together and put some ramps on top right here. But it's a service bay or service ramp for an ATV. I could fit a whole array of different ATVs on here, even some side-by-sides. Got a little place for a winch if I want to mount up my winch so that I can pull up a dead machine onto it. But yeah, this has just kind of been buried up here since we moved to this property, and haven't really used it, but it's really time for the King Quad to get a really good service. So I thought I'd dig this out and clean up the garage and get it in. You'll notice here I put some 2x4s on the forks, and what that's allowing me to do is just get my forks to be a little bit longer so I can pick this up and not bend it. It's bigger than the forks are, and I can't remember if these are 42-inch forks or what they are. Now, I don't recommend doing that with heavy loads, obviously. You don't want to extend your forks because we're talking about pyramid of stability, and you need to be, there's a science behind it. Look it up, Google it, because you want everything right against your mass. And with a tractor, everything changes because everything's so far in front of you. So you got to be careful with that. So with this, it's not a very heavy, you know, this is probably a couple 100 pounds all in, so it's not really a big heavy lift. I'm also going to keep it really low to the ground, and we're not going to go fast. We're going to go from here, I would say about 100 yards to the garage, and get her loaded in. So let's go do that. We're going to clean it up a little bit here before we leave. So let's do that. Okay, let's go get the bike. See what happens. Other than hitting my head on the garage door opener, that was great. Oh, it's gonna fall or what? Okay, so it mostly works. the garage that I had before this one, before we moved to this property, had a great concrete floor. It was smooth, it was beautiful, and that's where I built this piece of contraption here. And as you can tell, it's just a little bit wobbly right now because it's not sitting on a level garage floor. So I'm going to address that, and I'm also going to put some cross members and I'm going to weld some stuff up, but that'll come at a later time. For now, I'm more than happy with how safe it is up there. I got to remember that when I'm pulling the bike up, there's a garage door opener above my head because that hurt a little bit. But other than that, you know, you can service the bike right here. Like, you don't have to bend over or crawl underneath the ATV, which is killer. So, gonna take the bike back down, wash it off really good because I don't like working on dirty bikes, and then I'll put it back up on the ramp and start taking it apart. But that's all the time for this video. On the next video, in the garage anyway, we'll start huffing this thing apart and seeing what we need, making a part list on it, because I know for sure the bearing in this tire is gone. Oh yeah, I can feel it. And we got some bushings to take care of in this bike as well. Do an oil change, and I'm also going to swap out the winch for a slightly more powerful winch, a winch that I got over on the bench there. So we'll do that. But who knows, maybe the next video will be in the recording studio. I got a lot of things going on this week with one of the bands, two of the bands that I played with, and we'll be doing some rehearsals as well as some recording time, and so we might be on the other side of the wall in the recording studio in the next video, but I hope that you guys can join us. So thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments, smash the like button for me. Really enjoying making these videos for you. Take it easy. See you on the next one.